Today I want to talk about fat phobia in media, specifically about Kim from The Barkers. Kim was never meant to be the character that audiences wanted to be, but rather an example of the ghetto fat black girls that society looks down on, showing fatness as a moral failure.
Education is elevation, and today we're going to be exploring fat phobia, specifically 10 ways you can resolve and combat fat phobia in 2020 and beyond. And for clarity, fat phobia differs from fat shaming because it does not involve verbal or written criticisms directed at a particular person. Instead, fat phobia is an abnormal and irrational fear of being fat or being around fat people. Now, they say I talk too much about problems, not enough about solutions. So we're going to talk about this whole problem of fat phobia through the lens of solutions. Number one, we need to explore the notion of health at every size. This means no universal one-size-fit-all understandings of obesity and shit like that. All of us need to explore how so many of us are taught to accept that fat is always unhealthy without ever being urged to interrogate why or how, or if there might be any other things going on beneath the surface. Understanding the notion of health at every size helps us understand how fat phobia is inscribed to the medical industry. In combating fat phobia, number two, if you are small fat or mid-fat, consider the experiences of those that are larger than yourself. It's very important to think consciously about how bigger bodied people, or how this article puts it, fatness exists on a spectrum, which is to say that not all fat people are fat in the same way or in the same degree. Number three, work out because it feels good. With number three, I want you to consciously think about how the thing while exercising for the sole purpose of weight loss can quickly begin to feel emotionally draining, physically dangerous, and just not a ton of fun. If it ain't fun, you're probably not going to be doing it. Number four, stop saying I feel fat if you aren't. This cannot be a euphemism or some type of expression that you say because you know it impacts people differently. According to this article, when you are not fat yourself, but you use phrases like I feel like I'm fat to belittle your appearance, what you're saying to those around you, and particularly to those who are actually fat, is that you feel like you look like them and that their type of body is ghastly, ugly, wretched thing that you don't want to be associated with. In combating fat phobia, we're at number five, read more work by fat liberationists. This means instead of picking up another tabloid magazine from the grocery store checkout that talks about the headline of dropping all this weight by the holiday weekend or doing something like that, go find you some literature that is made by people that are dedicated to the liberation of fat phobia. We got some titles for you too. In combating the problem of fat phobia, we're looking for solutions. We have a long literature list of fat liberations books that are down there right there. You should pause the video if you're interested in exploring some of these books. Number six, do not correlate your health to worth. Don't do it. This means there are a variety of reasons that account for physical, mental, and emotional well-being that not all of us are healthy regardless of the size that's found on our jacket tags. See, some of us are still worthy human beings even if we feel unhealthy. Number seven, and this is one of the biggest ones, learn who profits from your insecurities. We're going to repeat that. Learn who profits from. In our exploration of fat phobia, in our combating of fat phobia, we have to understand number seven very consciously. Learn who profits from your insecurities. Learn who profits from your insecurities, especially when it comes to fat phobia. Real rap, no cap. We have to begin recognizing that there is a multi-billion-dollar industry whose survival depends on us hating ourselves and us kind of negotiating these insecurities that they are able to monetize and profit off of. In this next sentence, I'm going to read it verbatim. Peep game. The mainstream beauty industry with this anti-Asian focus, the mainstream fashion industry and its exclusion of fat bodies, the medical industry complex, and the weight loss business, one of the most successful ones in the world, are able to monetize your insecurities, our insecurities. And before I get to number eight, I wanted to say this to my fellow skinny people. We have to stop defining our body positivity in opposition to what it means to be fat. This perpetuates fat phobia and it's not good. On the eight though, you know. In number eight, contrary to popular fat phobia beliefs, you should wear the clothes you always wanted to wear. I'm dedicating this one to my fellow skinny people. Stop fat shaming people for the clothes that they decide to wear because you are uncomfortable in their confidence in what they are wearing. Bigger body people see us dressed like Willie the Foo-Foo all the time, and you know what they do? They mind their damn business. With that being said, stop trying to inscribe your skinny insecurities onto bigger body people living their damn life. Number nine, let's curb diet talk. Women in particular are undoubtedly conditioned to bond with one another over negative body talk. And yes, as a man, I'm conscious of watching myself and how I talk about how women have dialogue. With that being said, men, let's make sure we are not contributing to the stigmas of this old diet talk. Which finally brings us to number 10. Remember, fat is not synonymous with being ugly. Fat is not synonymous with being undisciplined. Fat is not synonymous with negativity, and we should stop pathologizing fatness and fat